Hey runners! Happy Saturday, July 6th, and it's been exactly 2 months since I posted a video. It's been a while. I hope you guys are doing well. A little catching up to do, but definitely will explain what is happening, what's going on here in the summer. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer or winter, depending upon where you're watching this video from. But here in the northern hemisphere, it is summer in Phoenix, and it is hot. We actually just came back from Flagstaff, Arizona, which is about 2.5 hours north of Phoenix. We spent a couple days out there. We did a race, which I'll explain here in a little bit. But now we're back to the heat. Phoenix got up to 118 yesterday, and yes, it's a dry heat, but heat is heat. And for the next 6-7 days, we're going to be right around the 114 to 116, 17. Normal this time of year is about 106, 107, but last July, I believe it was June 30th, all the way through the end of July, we were 110 plus. So, I don't know. It's just, it's brutal. It is. But anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. It is, speaking of temperatures, it's about 93 degrees, and I did my run early this morning, early being about 5:15ish. I'm not working today. It's a 4th of July holiday. We're off for a couple days, so typically I'm up earlier than that, like 4:30, maybe even 4:15, depending on the day, on a work day, but I guess you could say I slept in a little bit. So anyways, yes, it's been 2 months. I believe May 6th was the last time I posted. I'm doing well. Just haven't been posting a lot. I've been running, but I've been dealing with a little bit of a niggle, if you will, in the left knee, more on the inner portion, or the medial side. So first thing I thought of was, oh, maybe I've got something going on with my MCL. So kind of go back here. On May 11th, I had a 5K race, which I did well. I didn't feel any pain whatsoever. The next morning, May 12th, I felt pain kind of on the left side where the medial portion of the knee is, and then along, a little bit higher than that. I did a short run with my wife, who had a 5K race that morning, so I was just doing a warm-up with her, and it was painful. That whole week, I don't think I ran very much. I think I ran maybe a couple days that week, like every other, looking at the calendar, I ran every other day. I think I ran about just under 9 miles for the week. It was sore. It was like that for a couple weeks, and then it got a little bit better, where I could gain a little speed, because for the first week or two, if I tried to run, faster than 9 minutes, it was painful, so I didn't do that. So for 2 weeks, basically to the end of May, I didn't really put in many miles. I haven't really put many miles since. I've probably done, I think I did a 20 miler for the week, but I've been hovering between 16 to 20. Anyways, I went to go see an orthopedist last week, and he's like the team physician for some of the professional teams here in Arizona, and right off the bat, they did an x-ray. Of course, an x-ray is not going to show you, soft tissue, but they were just checking to see if there's anything going on, any, broken bones or anything like that. Everything came back negative. There's no swelling in the knee, but he said that he thinks that the meniscus is wearing out, which, without doing an extensive test or any MRIs, I don't know how he came to that conclusion, but obviously he's done maybe thousands of these before, where you can just go by feel. Anyways, it's just now he says it's more of managing it. So by managing, you know, how much pain can I tolerate, discomfort, if you will. So he prescribed a stronger ibuprofen diclofenac, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's basically a stronger version of an ibuprofen. It's a generic form of Voltaren. Well, Voltaren is a cream, a topical cream. A lot of people use it for arthritis, things like that. So I don't like taking pills, but I think I've taken it 3 times since my appointment. And I don't know if I notice much, but I just take it if I'm really feeling something. But anyways, so we'll see what happens. I still get, so what I'm feeling is I'm feeling some tightness in the knee on the medial side, but also sometimes in the middle. Over this past couple days, we were up north in Flagstaff, as I mentioned, and we did quite a bit of walking, hiking, and running, and did a mile race, which I'll explain. It was a little sore, not during the activity of racing, but afterwards. So it's just a matter of managing it. So, right now, I've signed up for a couple races. I've got a 10K in October, and I've got a half marathon at the end of November. So all goes well, I'll be able to do those races, and we'll just see how it goes. As mentioned, we were up in Flagstaff. We left on the 3rd of July, and the last, including this year, 3 years, we have done the Flagstaff Downtown Mile. And so for those of you not familiar with Flagstaff, Flagstaff is 7,000 feet in northern Arizona, about 2.5 hours north of us here in Phoenix. It's also one of the top places for elite professional runners. There's some Olympians that are up there. It's a really cool place. It's, I don't know, some people say it's kind of like hippie-ish, very outdoorsy, very laid back, great people, good food. And this time of the year, the weather isn't that bad, although the entire state of Arizona is basically on fire. It's just hot. Flagstaff is typically in the 80s, maybe mid 80s, low 80s. They're getting up into the 90s. It was 92, I think, yesterday, and the day before 90. Warm, however, we're used to 110 plus degrees, so when we got there in the afternoon, I think it was like 87, 88. Didn't feel bad. The mornings warm up quickly, but not bad at all. We did a race on July 4th, and the way this race is laid out, it starts at 6:30 in the morning. The Masters men, which is me, goes at 6:30. Then the Masters women, my wife, goes at 6:40, and so on and so forth. Where the next group would be the Citizens men, or that's open division. Anyone under the age of 40 can go. And then 10 minutes after that, the Citizens women's race. And then after that, I believe it's the kids race. And then it's the elite men, and then elite women. So it's pretty cool for about an hour and a half or so. You're just out there in downtown Flagstaff, watching people race or doing the race yourself. And it is a very tough race. I'm not a miler by any means. I do mile race like once a year. Sometimes a mile time trial with a local running group they do in April. Other than that, I really don't. Just to see what I can do. I will say, if you want to get out of your comfort zone, do a race that you're not accustomed to. Of course, train for it, leading up to it. If you're a distance runner, try doing some shorter stuff. You don't necessarily have to do sprints, but maybe do a 5K if you haven't done a 5K before. Or if you are a sprinter, or you do the mile, for example, jump up to the 5K or 10K, with proper training. Just, it's always good to get yourself out of the comfort zone. There's a lot of growth that happens when you do. So leading up to this, there's always that question of how am I going to perform? How's my knee going to do? In the back of my mind, I thought, well, maybe something could happen. But I've been doing speed work for the past 4-6 weeks, and I've been able to get through the workouts, some hard workouts. So I thought, okay, let's see if I can run. I was training for a 7:10 pace or 7:10 mile. Last year I ran 7:12, and the first year I ran 7:17. So yeah, I was thinking if everything goes well, I'll try to hit a did I say sub 12? 7:10 pace. That's what I was trying to run, a 7:10 mile. My workouts leading up to that, I was doing some 400s, 200s. One of the workouts that I had was, I think I did 4, 8, 12, 16 200s. And that one was a little tough. When I did that, there was, I think I had 30-second recovery between each 200. And then after that, after the set of 4, then I got, I want to say it was like 2 minutes or something crazy like that. But yeah, that was a good workout. The 400s were good. So, I ran a little bit faster than my projected 7:10 pace in these workouts, understanding that I will be in elevation, so it's going to feel harder. So when I towed the line on July 4th, in my mind I was thinking if I do 148 to 150 on the first quarter, 336, 338 at the half, 524, 525 on the 3/4 mile, and then just try to finish strong and get around 7:10, that I would do that. When the gun went off, I went out slower this year than I did in previous years, which is good, but I still struggled. That being said, the mile race is just, you go lactic. The lactic acid just, for me, it happened on the second loop. It's a 2-loop course. The first loop is actually a little shorter. It's about 0.43, 0.45-ish. Because where we start and end is not at the same spot, just because it's not an even half. So on the second loop, there's a little uphill. I was dying there, and then when I made a left, it's downhill a little bit. That's where you want to take full advantage of it. I just couldn't. I could feel my arms just going lactic. However, on the last turn, the left turn, going up this hill, the last 100 meters or so, I was able to kick it in. I do have a decent kick, I will say that, and fortunately I was able to muster a good kick and pass a couple people, but I finished in 7:14? Yeah, 7:14. So 2 seconds slower than last year and 4 seconds slower than what I was anticipating. But I'm happy overall. It was, despite everything that's going on, with the niggle, which really I never felt it during the run. Afterwards I was sore, of course. But yeah, it's a fantastic environment. There's a lot of people out there because they watch the 4th of July parade. They actually bring their chairs and their tents, to sit under. I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning, I think, because they want to line the streets and get a good seat. We thought they were coming to see us. Well, in part they are, but I think they're really mainly there for the parade. But it makes it for a fun environment. They're cheering you on as you go by. My wife, who ran in the Masters Women right after the Masters Men, she ran 6:15. Might have been a little bit faster than that from what she had on her watch, but the race had her at 6:15. She finished 8th, which she is. She got on the podium the first year, I believe it was, and last year as well, or first year. And this year, just the competition was just it's stacked because you actually had a professional elite runner who was also running that race as well as the citizens. I don't know how she doubled on that. And there's money involved too for the professionals and the masters. I think the masters you get $300 for first, $200 for second, and $100 for third place. Whereas the professionals, I want to say you get 1,000 for first place and maybe 500 for second. It's a pretty good amount. Yeah, we were pleased with our race. And then after that, my wife found a nice trail. Tough in the beginning because you're just climbing. We walked from our hotel to there, which is about, I don't know, a mile and a half, and then we walked about 35 minutes or so uphill, and then we came down. The trail was called Mars Trail. And then after that, we just walked straight to downtown, which wasn't too far, looking for food, and found a place and had lunch. And then we got back to the hotel at like, I want to say it was close to 1 o'clock. We were just beat. We were tired. You know, we had a full morning of racing and hiking, but it was a lot of fun. And then yesterday, our last day in Flagstaff, we went to a trail called Schultz Creek Trail. For any of those that are familiar with trails in Flagstaff, that's about 10-minute drive from the hotel. Really beautiful. Nothing but pine trees. And right when we got to the trailhead and parked, it was windy. It wasn't windy in the city, but as soon as we got out, whew, I mean, it was, I would say it was blowing what felt like 35 miles an hour or more. The temperature was about 66, 68 degrees, warmer than it was the previous day in the upper 50s. But, oh, it felt comfortable. So we decided to go for a run. Surprisingly, I stayed with my wife for about 2.6 miles to be exact, actually. And it was tough. I was breathing hard because we started at 7,100 feet elevation. When I turned around, I believe my Garmin said the elevation was 7,608 feet. So, you know, the elevation affects me, but even though I was out of breath, in the past, I know it would just be so tough to walk around in the elevation, but it didn't seem to bother me as much. And on the turnaround, I was able to run like a 9:30, 9:40 pace for a couple of the splits, which was great. I didn't, I wasn't afraid. I guess I just went out and, you know, if I fell, I fell, right? But I didn't fall. It was just a beautiful area. But anyways, I know this video is getting long. I just wanted to recap what's been going on for the last couple months, and I plan to give my knee a couple days rest. I said I'd go for 4 or 5 days. I don't know. Definitely 2 days. We'll see if I can get 3. Doesn't feel too bad right now. I love running. I also want to do what's best, and if I need to give it a little rest, I will. But anyways, I hope you guys are doing well, and for those of you who are here in the U.S. Celebrating the 4th of July weekend, happy 4th of July weekend to you. Be safe. For everybody else, I hope you guys are doing well, enjoying your summer. Let me know if there's any races that you may be doing over the 4th of July weekend or upcoming. And I'll keep you posted on when my next race is coming, which right now looks like it's not going to be until October 12th. It'll be in some elevation up in Prescott, the Whiskey Row 10K. They're known for the Whiskey Row Marathon. That will be a tough one too, because there's got some climbs, mainly on the road, I think some trails, but I'm going to turn 55 2 days before that on the 10th, and my goal is to try and beat my age, which will be difficult in elevation, because I can run 50 minutes for a 10K, but you tack on another 4,000 feet of elevation. We'll see what happens. So anyways, stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye.